keep the truth to ourselves. Maybe we're hypnotized. This is life. I've been living. Shit's too serious, but I can't abandon this. I've been living, but I can't abandon it.
Cool.
I'll let you start off.
Alrighty. Hello and welcome, everyone. We got La Espada versus Third Impact. Sorry for the delays. We were just sorting out an emergency sub, which will be McDonald's Wi-Fi up in the mid lane. And join me here tonight is Intensify.
Yo, what up? What up? How you doing tonight, August?
I'm good. I'm
Good.
good. A little, the wait was reasonable, but I'm
Yeah,
ready to see some gameplay. I
yeah,
think
for
they're going to
sure.
be getting into the draft. They already kicked off the draft, actually. We see a Kane ban coming out from La Espada, as well as a Karthus ban for Third Impact.
Okay. Yeah, I mean the
So,
Karthus is pretty important versus Kip. I'm not really sure what the Kane ban. I don't. Third Impact has some new players on their team that honestly I'm not really sure what they play yet. Um,
yeah,
I know you gave me this. Uh,
listen to the beat. Does it looks like he is like primarily a Kane player,
yeah.
sporting 140 games on Kane already this season?
We do see a Lulu ban, which is interesting. They don't want to put. I guess they don't need to have any of those hyper carries plus Lulu comps.
Yeah, and I think we've seen Kataro already play Lulu once um, throughout the AVG games already.
Yeah. Yeah, we have, I think, and it's pretty reasonable on it.
The Morgana band coming out. Morgana just, a menace in the jungle.
Mhm,
Kip has been playing a lot of Morgana, so no surprise there. But the Alawi band at the top lane,
mhm.
so not too big of a surprise. Sugar Taddies is a seems like a pretty proficient Alawi player. So
Alawi's, I mean, yeah, if he plays it, that's an interesting ban. I mean, you'd think that a niche pick like that, they might have a counter matchup prepared for it, but they're just gonna ban it and say, I don't really want you on that.
yeah, I think it gets to the point where Alawi. It doesn't take much to get the ball rolling.
Mhm.
And the Rumble ban coming out for Third Impact,
Yeah.
I'm guessing that might be at Kip again. So 3 jungle bans.
I mean, honestly, at this point, with how prevalent Rumble is, like, it could be banned towards any of them. Like,
Yeah, mid top jungle.
the Jinx first pick, which is, I mean, it's kind of interesting to me that you'd pick a hyper carry and ban Lulu. Like, obviously, I think that there's some situations that you want the Lulu Jinx, but I guess they're scared of, Lulu, Twitch, or Cog or something like that. Not really
Yeah,
sure.
no, I could see that coming out. What do you think the counter will be for TI?
So Jinx is pretty good into like melee engage supports with her traps, like being able to create space. Um, but with that being said, like I would love to see, like a Thresh or something into that. I don't think it's gonna happen though. We have seen out of Third Impact's bot lane like a Senna Wukong. Looks like they are picking up the Kindred, which actually I honestly think that there's a chance this goes AD carry. Kindred. Uh,
Yeah,
seeing that their jungler doesn't really play it, I think that it's totally something that Lenny would want to play, and honestly, we might see just like Kindred Tarek. Yep, and there it is.
nice.
So it's an interesting lane that requires a lot of synergy. It could definitely be punished if Ellie creates enough space in these fights and drafts proper disengage. But I'm excited to see what they have in store for us.
Yeah, I personally haven't seen much of Kendrick and the Kendrick Tarek bot lane, so I know Tarek can be pretty nasty.
Mhm.
What would you want to counter that? Just out of curiosity, because again, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. To counter, I mean, like it doesn't get played often, but stuff like Janna is a really good disengage option to it. Anytime Kindred goes in, she hits her with a Q. If things start hitting, she has shield. She has her ult to blow it out of Kindred ult. But I'm guessing we're most likely not going to see something like that this week. And honestly, we're probably going to see a less than optimal support come out of LE. And that's when things kind of get interesting in the bot lane. Because
Gotcha.
so one of the big powers for at least early game with Kindred Tarek is Kindred's able to jump in and stun the enemy with Tarek's ult very easily, and then provide a lot of burst. But then there's also the synergy of her ult plus his ult late game, where she drops her ult and then he pops his ult, and it winds up during that, and then they're invincible while the enemy team's not. We do see a Braum, which it is a disengage option, but there are chances for it to get out of hand. Also,
Yeah,
we do get Mordekaiser.
Yeah, we get Mordekaiser in the top lane, which Foja had a great performance on him last week during
yeah, I think 2 weeks ago or something.
or
like
was
that.
it 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 weeks against On the Spot.
Yep.
And single-handedly he was a monster.
He played really well, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure this is gonna be the Volibear top lane too.
Yeah, it looks like Sugar is a Volibear top lane player.
Yeah, and I don't really think this is a big issue that I have, but my only problem with this kind of draft out of each team is there is like, I mean, yeah, Volley's a flex, Kindred's a flex, Mordekaiser's slightly a flex, but there's 0 flex picks and they make all their intentions known right away, which makes it really easy for the enemy team to actually draft properly around it.
Yeah. We already know basically where all these are going.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's Mord versus Volley top, it's Jinx Braum versus Kindred Turek, bot. Like, so now we're just gonna see a mix of like, yeah, we see 2 mid bans out of LA, the Vlad and the Yone. And then we're probably gonna see like a jungler here out of Third Impact. I'm not really sure what they'd want to play. I think their jungle plays mainly like tanks.
We have Kane, Hakram, Amumu, Mundo, Sejuani, all that. So, but a Skarner,
which is a pretty good pick considering that if Kindred ults and you think you have safety in that ult, you can just drag the enemy off of it and get free kills. I also just think he's like generally a good pick. My only issue so far with this comp is like they're severely lacking in damage. Like even Kindred doesn't have a lot of damage, especially into this tanky team by LE. Like Jinx will put out so much more damage than her as long as she's staying alive. And this is another issue that I have with some of Third Impact's drafts this season so far is like it almost feels like they're being forced into like, oh, this is the Linny show, let's only have 1 damage, and when she can't do it, like things go really downhill.
Yeah, but we also see Silas and Urgot being locked in for La Espada.
Yep.
So
that's definitely Kip's Urgot in the jungle. He really likes playing that.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I like their team comp. It's something, non-linear. At least for me, it's refreshing to see something different.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Another thing that's interesting is the Urgot versus Kindred interaction. He can ult someone who's in Kindred's ult and pull them off of the ult.
Okay.
And kill them, and then he can also slightly fear them during that, but it's generally a good matchup for Urgot. I just worry. I don't really worry. I actually think that La Espada generally has the better team comp. They're very beefy, and Third Impact, unless Victor and Kindred get really far ahead, are going to have a tough time getting into this beef from La Espada.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think execution-wise, La Espada has... It's just a lot easier to execute, whereas TI, there's a few different moving parts to it. I like the Victor pick that came through, just because the control mage in the mid is going to... I mean, it's Victor. Late game is huge. And...
I said this the last time Victor's picked. He's actually a really good pick when the enemy jungler and mid are both melee. Because if he gets ganked, it's almost impossible for him to die with his W up. Like 2 melees and his W just can't do anything into him. He just walks away. So it's a very safe pick that can scale. I just worry that he might not be able to scale as fast as he'd want.
Yeah, definitely an interesting game to watch. Yeah, I've been watching a bunch of MSI, and the only thing that I've been seeing is a lot of Tristana mids and Morgana Udyr jungle. So
Yeah.
Skarner and Urgot jungle is going to be like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's definitely interesting picks. Urgot in the 1v1 gets the hand. I mean, Skarner is definitely not a good duelist. He relies on the pick and damage of his teammates. And I mean, honestly, like I said before, I worry that third impact's not gonna have enough damage. This volley top does not provide the damage that a Skarner wants either. And I think Mordekaiser's gonna just have his way with the tankiness of the enemy front line. And honestly, like I'm not calling it. Anything can happen, but like I think La Espada is much favored in this draft.
Yeah, they have a lot more even like damage across the board as opposed to Victor Kindred.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
but
Like,
both teams locking in, and then we'll be kicking it off onto the Rift here.
mm-hmm.
Are there any matchups that you're looking for specifically?
So I think top will be left alone for the most part, where maybe Volley might be able to make something happen levels like 1 through 3, but Mordekaiser should get the upper hand, after 4 or so. Silas, Victor, like I said, Victor should be able to negate that for the most part, but Silas Urgot is stronger than the Skarner Victor mid, so I'm assuming that Urgot's gonna at least get 1 scuttle, if not, an invade or a gank or 2 scuttles. And then bot lane is it's not super volatile, and the main reasoning for that is because Jinx and Braum can disengage as easily as they want. Like, Kindred has to Q in with Taric stun on her, and it's very hard to actually do that into Jinx traps and Braum Q. So I think we need to really see some creative pathing or game Garner to really get his lanes ahead for them to win this game. Because I think going into that 15-20 minute mark when lanes are over, if the game is even gold wise, La Espada should have the win. They're much favored in my opinion later on.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's a pretty spot on conclusion from my regard too.
Mm-hmm. Exquisite. Gonna get your monocle.
Yeah, that really tickled my fancy. But yeah, and the other thing to note too is they have McDonald's Wi-Fi, who is just a sub. So I'm curious to see just on the communication and if he has any not experience for like team synergy, but going from just playing regular solo queue games and then playing competitive just grouped with a team, it's a lot different. So that'll be one of the interesting things to note too, because Carnage is a pretty good mid laner in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I think Victor, he is silver. Not that it's not a shot at silver players, but if there's a plat and a silver, I'm putting my
Yeah.
money on the plat.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, this is a completely new person. We don't really know what he has to offer. Maybe he's a
He could be Faker's cousin for all I know.
But we do know that Carnage is proven on the Silas, and it does look scary. I agree with for the Victor. I mean, this could just be a fucking this could just be a Silas pop off stream. Like who knows? The top 3 from Foja, Kip, and Carnage like all have um their comfort picks. Like they're super comfortable on it. Whereas, I mean, I don't think after looking at his match history, like listen to the beats, Skarner is one of his more comfortable champs. Obviously, he's comfortable on enough to pick it, but I know
Yeah.
Sugar Teddy's is probably comfortable on the Volibear.
Yeah, I think that's his most played champ this season.
I think McDonald's Wi-Fi is an 80 carry main or something. And honestly, like I get why you'd want to pick the Kindred Taric, but it just shows so much of your draft so early, and I don't like it honestly. It's kind of memey to me.
Yeah, well, we will be kicking this off soon.
Yeah.
So I believe we'll take a 3-minute break here.
Yeah, we'll take a short break real quick, guys. We'll be right back, all right?
It's a gift to get to read you so slow as we grow intertwined. So please just call me, don't stay stuck. You're scared, I know it's late, but hey, I'm up. So if your thoughts have frozen you, I will thaw you with my leave your door open so I can come inside. Now be quiet when I arrive. And in the dark where I can hear your mind, it's just you and I. It's just you and I.
Alright, so we're here in game, we're doing a short little pause, but I'm just gonna kind of go through and look at people's runes and summoners and stuff. Everything looks clear topside and jungle. We do see fleet footwork, Silas versus Airy Victor. The fleet footwork's much more normal on Silas than the Airy on Victor. Normally you'd see either phase rush or electrocute. And then we get a lethal tempo Jinx, which is normal, and Hellblade's Kindred, which is also normal. She uses that to proc her E very quickly in lane. And then double Guardian out of the supports, which I also think is totally normal and fine. I mean, there's maybe some room to say like Aftershock Taric, but otherwise, things are good. We got 4 TPs in this game, which means that, sometimes we might see a 5-man bot. Otherwise, it's looking like a fun game. It look like Victor's AFK holding down the fort.
Yeah, pretty linear.
Yeah, Urgot
Classic.
using, yeah, good use of his passive, getting that early ward kill. Foja telling me to pass him a drink in chat. Very nice, very nice.
But no action, just a classic 5-point coming out for both sides here.
Looks like they're grouping up. Maybe they might try to go for a small invade on red side. I'm not really sure what they're gonna do here. Oh, sorry, it's the Spires. I forgot about Skarner.
Yeah, they're popping the Spire. That's another plus 15 over to the boys in blue.
And it looks like Urgat's starting red. It's just gonna be a same side clear up in the top scuttle, which, like I said earlier, I think that Urgat's house should beat Skarner Victor, which means that unless Skarner wants to get double scuttle, he's gonna have to abandon probably his Krugs and take bot scuttle, just to ignore or dodge the Urgot on the top side or at the 3:15 mark.
Yeah, and I really kind of agree with what you said earlier just on the summonary coming out for Victor. My one question will be how big of an issue that is, like as the team fights start happening, just because of how valuable phase rush overall is. And we see
So,
a pause coming out too. Foja crashed.
yeah, I don't honestly. Victor's kind of one of those champs, in my opinion, that can kind of get away with anything. Summoner
Yeah.
wise, obviously you take the phase rush to keep up with people with your ultimate, but you also use it to easily escape from ganks since he can proc it so easily with his Q auto E or even Q E W. Um, I personally prefer going ignite, electrocute, and just killing people, but the area is definitely interesting. It'll give him a little bit of poke in lane. I'm not sure if it's what he really wants though.
Yeah, a little bit of poke coming out of the spot lane here.
Yeah. And Jinx Braum are actually playing slightly passive, which I don't think they have to in this lane. They are, in my opinion, favored early on. But they're kind of just conceding the lane. I don't really agree with it. Especially after this happens. They should have free range to just fight now. Braum missing his Q. Kind of a sloppy lane phase so far, bot lane.
Yeah, and a pot is going to be ticking here. And Kindred did take Biscuit, so if they keep trading the way they are, Kindred will just be able to, they're going to be a little healthier too.
Yeah, especially with the sustain on her W.
Yep.
Um,
And even Tark overall too.
yeah.
Some trading coming out in the top lane as well. Nothing too spicy so far.
Yep. And this is exactly what I thought was gonna happen. Like I said, the Skarner was gonna, if he wanted his Krugs, he was gonna have to forfeit at least like both the Scuttles, which is it's just what's gonna happen, and Urgat's gonna get a significant lead here.
Yeah, and a lot of damage coming out for bot lane, so that was a good trade over to La Espada, in my opinion.
Yeah. Another thing that you gotta mention is that Kindred in the bot lane is kind of
Carnage coming up on this gank here. Carnage just gets away. But if he overcommits, we do have Urgot here, who might be able to get. He might be. If he doesn't flash out, he's gonna get thrown over, right?
Urgot's E was on cooldown.
Oh yeah.
Little crab, so looks like that wasn't the case.
We didn't see any immediate flash on site action.
Yeah, and
Game
that is
pause.
the third pause of the game. This might be the most delayed game of history.
Yeah, we're getting there. one for the record books, and that it's not. No, that's not what you were anticipating.
Yep.
But it's here. It's fine. I got you. You got me. We got
Yeah.
each other.
And looks like it's out of Kaitaro's page this time. He's getting some DCs. We do see a slight gold lead going over to Third Impact side. Foja, is feeling the strength of that early game Volibear on the top side, as well as, Carnage missing some CS in that melee versus range matchup. And then, like I said, I think that the Jinx Braum in the bot lane shouldn't have given as much, shouldn't have let Third Impact have as much pressure as they did in the lane. So they are at a CS difference as well.
Yeah, I think the bigger because you have CS deficits across the board. Like
Yeah.
you only one is jungle. But my one question would be the familiarity with like the bot lane matchup for Jinx Braum versus Kendrick Tark. Just I haven't seen it too much. I don't know how much info La Espada has on it, but you know, maybe there's something there that they aren't catching in terms of playing the matchup.
Yeah. I think that, like I said earlier, Kindred Terex, it's like I said, it can be good, but there are weaknesses to it. It's very apparent when they want to go in. If you dodge the stun, then they're kind of left out to dry if you're able to kite them out properly.
Okay.
So I personally am not a fan of it, but I would like to see it actually work.
Rip the cannon.
And we are back in the game.
Yeah, I'm curious as to see when we're actually going to see some action.
Yeah. And it's very interesting to me too, because I do feel like La Espada is a very strong team, but we see Foja and Carnage on two of their, like, not pocket picks, but like their safest, most comfortable picks, like coming out at a CS deficit is so weird to see. Like, you'd think that they would not have a problem at all with this, especially for Carnage. Like, he's a platinum player against a silver. I mean, obviously props to Victor for playing this well, but it's kind of interesting, honestly.
Yeah, and we do see some pings coming out. Urgot was spotted on that ward, so he will be pathing, taking his recall, and then that's it. We see a little bit of trading coming out in the mid lane. He gets chunked for half, and then Carnage does get his 6 here.
Yeah, and that Silas ult with Victor's ult is actually.
But he is pretty low on mana.
Mhm.
He's gonna take his back here.
Looks like Skarner's going to go for the early dragon, which I like. He's got all of his camps cleared except for the Krugs, which he didn't get on his, or actually he did get on his first clear. So pretty efficient pathing so far from the Skarner.
Yeah, I wonder if Urgot's going to be sniffing this out. He's going to check. He's probably going to drop a ward. He drops a ward. And
he misses the blast cone.
Oh.
That is tragic, actually. They need to kill a Skarner? Oh, and they did. So everything goes well for them, I mean.
Yeah. And they can rotate here if they continue to fight this out. Urgot's going to be collapsing. Linny gets rooted. But I think they're just going to disengage.
Yeah, I mean, Kip should be looking in the bot side jungle of Skarner here. However, Jinx is low on mana, and they might not be able to have the wave clear to help them in the jungle, so that might not be the case. He might just steal the red or the blue buff and leave. I don't think he should look for any more after that. But it's possible. I mean, he is Urgot into Skarner. He might get. Oh, he doesn't even get the blue buff, does he? Or did he?
Yeah.
He did get the blue buff. Sorry.
Yep. But that's what you want to see, and just like that, La Espada are back in the lead with the 300 gold.
Yeah, and both mid laners still haven't backed, interestingly enough. It was really good roam out of Silas to be able to sniff that out along with the Urgot. Obviously it's a shame that the Urgot had to use his flash, but it is what it is. they're still happy with the lead. I was gonna talk about the Kindred a little bit more. I think she's a really good champ, like in 4 roles. You know, top, jungle, mid, and AD carry. The only
Oh, he gets sniped from downtown.
wow.
And that's going to be another kill going over the Urgot.
And I mean, that's what you gotta worry about. He doesn't even have to gank you. He just presses R on you from outside of your vision, and you die.
And that was huge because not only did he get the kill, he stopped them. Like he feared away both Tarek and I think Kindred. Yeah.
Yeah. No. It was Tarek and Skarner,
Oh yeah.
right? I think so. Yeah.
And Sugar Tata's getting pulled into the Shadow Realm. It is going to be low. All coming out from the Volley Bear. Is he going to turn it around? Misses the Q. That could have killed.
Wow, and that's a
flash coming out. And a
that's a
kill over to the
solo.
Volley. Yeah. I don't know if maybe if he would have hit the Q, things would have been different. Silas getting the root. And that should just be a kill. Going over to Carnage. Skarner's rotating up too.
But
Indeed,
whereas
but
the Victor uses TP to go mid, Carnage decides, hey, I'm just gonna go top and make this a 1-for-1. Really good positioning out of him to be able to cover up for his teammates' mistakes there.
Yeah. Nice proactive play.
I do think that, I mean, I thought that Skarner was playing pretty well up to this point, up till he got spotted out the dragon, but it might be more on the laners not having priority for him to not be able to get that first dragon, which kind of put them at a deficit.
Oh, turns it around. Oh, no. Wait. Mumu? Mumu? He takes these.
Alright.
Awesome.
Mustache Man has some guns.
Yeah, I mean, that's huge, too. Because, I mean, they missed basically, what, 2 waves almost? A wave?
Yeah, really smart dive out of them, honestly.
Yeah.
Good
Flash
of
coming out from Carnage, yeah. And we see the spam pings come across for this scuttle. Foja getting locked up, but Urgot is up here. Silas is suppressed. Gets stunned up under the turret. It's not going to be enough.
That was a Skarner ult versus a Skarner ult under.
Yeah, they ulted each other. I was like, wait. They are going to be giving this over to Linny.
Which is dumb as hell. That right there tells me that Linny doesn't actually play Kindred. Like anyone that has ever played like more than 5 games of Kindred knows that you just need an assist on her to get the mark. I don't like that. It kind of confirms that they're literally just playing stuff that they're not actually comfortable
We
on.
see some action rotating, clearing the ward. We do have Drake coming up here again. That's probably when we'll see our next team fight. Urgot is bot side though. They do have a lot of vision, so it would be hard to get across.
Looks like Foja's still having a tough time in this lane. I guess he's hoping that he can eventually outskill and be, you know, useful in team fights. Interestingly enough, Kip goes straight for his stride break instead of getting any boots or anything, which is it's definitely a good item. Gives him mobility he wants, but I guess he just had a really good back for it.
Yeah, that makes sense. And Sugar coming in with the combo. Foja ulting him. That's going to be a big chunk coming down. We might see another solo kill up in the top lane, hitting his Q.
Yeah.
All coming through. Is it going to be enough? It is. It all. He
That
just
was
needed.
so close.
That was so close.
But in the end, it ends up in Volley's territory. I mean, Ward cannot stay under this, and he just gets some free plates.
Yep. Good trade coming out for the side of Third Impact.
Yeah.
And they don't see Urgot here, yeah.
And Taric using ult before Kindred uses ult, which is, I mean, it's not what you want. And there's the Urgot interaction, like I said.
Yeah. And this should just be easy kills over to La Espada. Double kill over for the Urgot. There's a TP coming through.
Urgot should be able to clean this up.
Everyone's
Really
rotating.
get all out of Carnage. I would like to see him focus on the Volibear a little bit more to peel for the Urgot. Urgot is not going to win that Volibear matchup.
And Sugar coming down when he was needed the most. That was, I don't know. That was an interesting chain of interactions.
Luckily,
Third Impact walking away with a little more. And they're going to get the Strake.
Yeah, we'd assume so. Maybe we can see Urgot pull something off, but I kind of doubt it. The one upside for La Espada there is they still have the Rift Herald. They're gonna get some plates and bot, and they didn't lose the bounty on Kip. But overall, pretty good for Third Impact.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, and that is first tower bot. Unfortunately, Jinx did not get any of that gold, so she's gonna miss out. Kip's gonna say thank you so much for all that free gold, but you know, one of the main carriers on the team is not gonna have as much as they could have.
I feel like so many things happened there, and I only caught like half of them for whatever reason.
Do you only have one eye open?
Possibly, actually. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, that could be it. Another thing I've tried, like, in casting is I actually started turning on my screen.
How do you do that?
On the side of, there's a power button.
Yeah.
Yeah, just hit that once or twice. Yeah, I actually do mine twice.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll work.
But we do see some mythics coming out here too. On, you know, the Kindred, the Volibear, or the Kindred, all coming through for Volibear up in the top lane. Is he able to turn this around and actually kill Volley now?
It's gonna be
All
rough.
coming through. Yeah, we have a Skarner here. He has to flash out. It's not going to be enough. We see a TP coming through. Carnage goes in, misses the E. That's going to be Volibear getting sniped. Skarner has to flash out.
Yeah, they need a peel. Get on Victor if you can.
They're collapsing. They turn this around.
And that's a huge Taric ult.
Yeah, shutdown going over to the Kindred. Moo Moo Milk slapping him, showing him what's up. He's going to be slain by McDonald's Wi-Fi. Carnage is getting out of there if he can. He might be able to turn this around.
Yeah.
Complex on the retreat.
In the end, it's pretty winning for Third Impact. I would like to see the Kindred get the mark disappeared, I guess. There was a mark on Gromp. I'm not sure where it went. But they will get the Rift Herald and maybe, hopefully, turn that into a mid tower.
Oh, and Complex might just be dead here.
They do get the Kindred ult, but that is not worth it for Jinx. Pretty well played out of Lenny to know her limits there.
Yeah, and Kindred did get the Urgot bounty, so it'll be pretty interesting to see what comes from that.
She's looking healthy. I mean, with like obviously there isn't a big gold lead, but the thing is, a lot of La Espada's gold is on the champion that doesn't really need it so much right now. Obviously it's good, but he can't provide as much carry potential as the Jinx or the Sylas.
Yeah.
Whereas there's a pretty even mixture on Third Impact side. They're getting gold kind of everywhere. Everyone's hitting their mythics on time. The Victor gets his Leandries, which is really good into all these tanks. The Kindred has a Kraken, which is good into all these tanks. Skarner's able to engage, Volley's able to sustain. Things are looking not too bad for Third Impact right now.
Yeah, scoreline tied of 8-8. Only a 900 gold difference. Carnage in the bot lane coming out. McDonald's Wi-Fi? Is that going to be the solo kill? Possibly. Oh! And that's a solo kill over to Victor. McDonald's Wi-Fi.
Out of a silver 80 carry main, that's some pretty good play for a Victor.
Yeah, he's cracked. But we see Urgot securing the kill. Listen to the beat is coming up, going to stun up Moo Moo Milk. Oh, and you can't outrun this. You're just gonna get ran down.
Yeah,
And that's another kill going over to Lenny on the Kindred.
I also sort of do have a problem too with the Everfrost on the Silas instead of a Leandry's here. The burn would definitely help, you know, against people who are living from the Kindred ult.
Yeah.
As well as the 3 tanks. I think it's kind of an oversight for him not to get it.
And we see Skarner once again up in the top lane with Foja. Suppressing them, pulls him out. Foja is gonna go down to listen to the beat.
Yeah, really good game so far out of Volibear and Listen to the Beat. Sorry, Sugar Tatties and Listen to the Beat. And they definitely are on the same wavelength here, and Boy's getting the hang of this. There's a Jinx rocket coming. Oh, and that's so close. Kindred's gonna pick up her 3rd mark here. I think 3rd, right? I can't see it. Yeah, it's her 3rd mark, which is her very first good power spike in the game mark-wise. Does give her her first range and attack, or range bonus, along with the attack speed and max health damage that it provides.
So we have Drake going over to La Espada. Sorry, and we saw an interrupt. We saw a TP coming out for Sugar Tatties, but you know nothing came from it.
There's just gonna be a siege mid, which is fine. Considering that I believe Third Impact wants a back here. Still does have the Taric ultimate in this bot lane versus Victor, which is kind of an interesting one to fight with, considering he's not going to be able to steal Victor's ult to outdamage him. We do see the Black Cleaver coming out second out of Urgot. I think that's, for the most part, generally a pretty good pickup into this tanky composition.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you on that one. We do see a ping coming out. Also, we see Skarner possibly rotating up top again. So that he is popping the Herald.
Yeah.
He does have his ult, and that gets the flash out.
I understand the reasoning for it, but I don't agree with it. They're just taking the top tower, but like it's just not important compared to mid. Like with the volley being this far ahead, I would have liked to just see a forced 5-man mid to take mid tower and create more space on the map.
Yeah, and on the side of La Espada, not bad taking up mid turret. We do have a 2v2 here, and they are just going to back off. But we also see a fight breaking out in the mid lane. All come through for Moo Milk. Kill going over to Urgot. That's going to be the Kindred going down. And now we have the 2v2 up top. Foja and Sugar Tatties is going at it. Foja chooses to ult Skarner. He's going to go down. Braum kills Urgot kills Taric, and then Jinx securing the kill on Victor.
Jeez, we're seeing the power that I haven't noticed yet of this Braum Urgot interaction. If Braum lands a Q or auto on anyone and Urgot's there, they're just getting stunned and decimated. This Urgot is just having his way with Third Impact right now.
Yeah, and this is going to be a Baron coming over. It is going to be a 50-50. Possibly. Yeah. Skarner does have flash, and his smite is coming up.
Yeah, I think that...
Is he going to do it? He's going to do it. He's not going to do it.
Okay.
Okay. I got a little concerned for a minute. Not going to lie.
The only other course of action there that might have been a threat was if Lenny was able to get over the wall and ult the dragon, or the Baron, to force yet another interesting 50-50 attempt.
Yeah. And it looks like he got over, but he did not get the smite off.
Yeah, and
I think
it's so weird. In a couple plays, we went from a very even gold lead to now 4K lead on the side of La Espada, which is, it's so interesting considering it seems like some of these champs on Third Impact are very strong right now. I think that is just the Urgot getting that one shot on Kindred kind of made everything fall apart for Third Impact.
Yeah, you saw the power of if Kindred's not there for some of these team fights, they can just hard lose them.
Yeah.
And I think that was some of the power of Urgot too.
Mm-hmm. you only have the Victor damage right now. I mean, sure, there's a little bit of volley damage, but he wasn't even
All
there for
coming
the
out
fight.
of the Victor. Jinx Rocket coming through. Nice to see ya. See ya later. And we do see Skarner rotating towards bot, back up towards mid.
Skarner's engaging.
Yeah, he's trying to ping, but they tell him not to, I guess. He had his ult up. He chose not to pick anyone. But you probably don't want to bring Braum into the middle of your team, seeing all what happened last time. But
Yeah.
smart trap coming out of complex to kind of
Yeah. Didn't overgreed it, just placed the traps and got out. And
Yeah.
it forced the Skarner to use his cooldown of the Turbo Chem tank.
Yeah.
And Urgot says, Jinx, this is my farm. It's actually kind of
Yeah.
gross, dude. If I was at AD carry, I'd be sad. Like, man, I'm just trying to get some farm.
And we do have a 3v5 in the mid lane. Silas on the rotation. Foja does have TP. And we also have Mountain Drake coming or up. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see.
Yeah, this is a slight
fight.
overextension by Skarner. But we do see Silas getting the ulti, and I think that, you know, Foja has TP. He does get top turret. I would like to see. Oh, okay, they saw Baron. They're going for mid turret, which is it's an okay trade. If they get top as well, I think things are going really well for them. But they're all backing on third impact instead of trying to go for engage. This might be a second turret in the mid lane for them.
Yeah.
Just like that, they traded a
It's
turret
gone.
for like 1,500 of a gold disadvantage. I mean, things are looking good for La Espada.
Yeah, now we're up to a 6k gold difference. Well, you couldn't ask for a better Baron power play.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. The only other
Four
power play
turrets
you like is
basically for
in the
free.
game, I guess.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, we do see a locket coming out of Tarek. I mean, it works well with the Skarner, but I kind of would have rather seen just like a, not a locket, a Shirelius, I'm sorry. I would have liked to see a locket. And on top of that, we see a Stormrazor out of Kindred, which I'm just not that big of a fan of. I would have rather seen like a Lord Dominic's Regard or something like that.
Yeah, we do see Sugar Daddy's going to be going down in the top lane there. Kip on the support.
Yeah, kept finally saying, yo, I got you this time. You don't have to worry about this one.
Skarner's been up there 5 times. He's like, yo, I need my jungler.
And that is a long Paragalt cooldown just for this mid turret. But Mumu's in there.
Yeah. Silas getting pulled out. Stopwatch having to be burned. Or Zanya's, excuse me.
That was a ton of cooldowns just for this mid turret, which I don't think really gives them what they want at this point. You know, they're 6k gold down. They kind of want to get these dragons, try to scale up later, but they're forcing a lot of very important cooldowns for something that's worth, you know, all of 300 gold.
Yeah. And we do see Kindred ping the scuttle.
Not going for it though because she has no clue where the enemy team is.
Yep.
I do think that it's probably a good thing that La Espada doesn't have the mid turret right now. It's just more free farm for the enemy. However, they also don't have anyone picking up the farm on mid wave, so it's also kind of questionable. I would like to see at least one person in each wave or in each lane, but looks like Urgot's going for a solo kill.
Yeah, getting locked up under the turret, but it doesn't matter. He's dead.
Yeah, and third impact is just not ready to respond to this. They're trying to get the Silas on the top side, but they're going to lose so much just trying to do that.
Yeah. And McDonald's Wi-Fi is still trying to figure out what just happened to him. A man with shotgun knees just came and slaughtered him under turret.
Right.
But we also see a fight up in the top lane between Sugar Tatties and Carnage.
Yeah, and I'm not a big fan of the TP at all.
Yeah.
I say you give the Silas, you take the for sure inhib and are happy with it. Now that it makes it really very interesting for Lost Spada's bot side, but they're going for the 2 on top.
And they are. I wouldn't be surprised if they maybe rotate to set up for Baron here now that it's a 4v5.
Yeah,
Take the
looks like the
resets.
top side wants to back
Establish
first,
vision.
but they still have time, I'd assume, to do this. It looks like Complex is kind of saying, you know, I got a free red buff. I might as well steal it from Urgot before he takes all my farm again.
Yeah. And let it be known, Kip is huge right now.
Yeah,
The
that's a big
highest
goal.
paid player at 13.7k gold. Skarner's at 9k gold. He is massive. Plus, he also has Ravenous too.
Yeah, I mean, even with some anti-healing with the Morello and Thornmail coming out, he's gonna be doing too much damage that the anti-healing doesn't really matter too much. Sure, he's not gonna be healing as much, but you're also not gonna be able to kill this guy because he's killing you first.
Yeah.
It's looking really doomed for third impact at this point. Obviously, there are ways that they can get back, but the problem being now Urgot has QSS plus can murder your entire team. If Skarner even ults him, they don't really have a way to deal with him. Kindred doesn't have enough damage to deal with him right now either. Victor doesn't have enough damage to deal with him. They're gonna have to find one of the most perfect Kindred Taric ults in the world to squeak out a fight, and even then it's gonna be difficult.
Yeah, and we do have some action coming through here now that Drake has spawned. Skarner gets ulted immediately. It says, no, sir, you will not go to the Dragon Pit. But a fight comes through. That's going to be Mumu trapped up in the Dragon Pit. Kindred all coming through. That's going to be the Urgot kill. Oh,
Yeah, so
doesn't matter. Okay. Yeah, and that's just going to be a clean Quadra kill over to Carnage.
That's a Carnage Quadra. I'm sure he's happy with that, considering he had 1 kill when that fight started.
Yeah.
And honestly, that could be game. That's 30-second death timers on a lot of people. I mean, if they have the minion wave, which I think they do, I would like to see more just walk mid, say screw bot and him, and go for the end here. Which it looks like he is doing. Skarner managing to kill the Urgot finally.
And I don't know, can they do this without Urgot here?
It's
Possibly.
possible. Yeah.
Foge over here dealing some damage.
Oh my god, that's a big Morq. Holy.
That's a lot of damage.
big
Another kill
boy.
going over the complex, and that is going to be Kindred getting squashed by
And
Mordekaiser.
This is it, honestly. I don't think there's anything else that's gonna happen.
And that's
I
a double
can't-
kill over the complex, and another
can't
kill to
say
Carnage.
That's the cleanest last spot game we've seen, but I mean, they made it happen in the mid game. Like Urgot got insanely big, and it was really difficult to deal with that.
Yeah, absolutely. There wasn't much back and forth. It was once they established a lead, they just kept building on that lead.
Yeah.
And, you know, to note, actually, Mordekaiser, they all did a pretty equal amount of damage too, to be honest with you. For as little as resources as Jinx had,
Yeah.
still dealing 19.3k damage, which is
Yeah.
nice.
For sure, had that crack in Runian's plus last whisper at the end and was able to do whatever she wanted because she had that front line available for her. Okay.
Yeah, nice game coming through.
Mhm. Yo, what up, Complex?
Hey, man.
What's going on, boys? How's it going?
Good game, brother. Walk us through kind of your pregame mentality. What did you guys kind of have in mind?
Going into pregame, I mean, we did a lot of practice today, just trying to practice as a team, work on our communication. Definitely kind of teetered off in the second half of those games that we were playing, but for the most part, I mean, we were feeling pretty good. We went through like probably 20 different draft preps, that's for sure, within about 24 hours. So going into draft, I mean, we kind of had a pretty decent idea of what we wanted, but in the end, we just kind of resulted to more comfort picks.
Okay.
Sweet. So maybe you want to tell us about the Kindred Tarek. Like, how did that go? Were you expecting that? You know, tell us more about that.
So look, it's Lenny. It's Lenny Kitaro. I mean, they pulled out the Senna Wukong. Like, they pull out crazy stuff. It seems like almost every week. So for them to pull out the Kindred Tarek of all teams to do it, I mean, it's nothing short of expected. So, I mean, leaning against it, I certainly was like, I have no idea. Like, if we actually do win these, I was like, I'm pretty sure all I got to do is just make sure that I'm out of like the Kindred hop with Tarek stun range, and we should be okay. Mumu was telling me to be a little bit more aggressive with my rockets and whatnot to harass Lenny more. At some point, we were like, you know what, I can just be in minigun form and still outrange her and try to harass her off wave. So we started trying to be more aggressive with that. We had a couple skirmishes in bot lane that could have definitely gone our way more. We were just a little bit hesitant about like where Skarner was on a few of them, but for the most part, I mean, for the most part, I was more valuing my flash than going for the kills because it is a Skarner and I didn't have QSS yet.
Right. So looking at this draft by you guys, it looks like you did get a bunch of comfort picks on your top side of the map, but weirdly enough, like Foja was kind of getting handled in the top side. I mean, kind of what were his comms going into mid game?
So he kind of knew that, you know, Volibear, like, he kind of just wins the duels with Mordekaiser, but he was confident that he could still play Mordekaiser. He's played the matchup many times. He knew that, you know, he could survive the lane and then just be useful in team fights later, or just ultimately, like, being stronger later in the game than the Volibear. You know, he was a little bit upset that we didn't, you know, get quite as many kills as we wanted up there. I know it was 0-0 for a while, and then Volley ended up getting a kill, and the kill I think went over to like Silas or Urgot. Right. So, I mean, stuff started not going our way when they started rotating really well.
Right. Not to cut you off, but for the sake of brevity, I mean, obviously Kip had a great game, but kind of bouncing off something different. I mean, what do you guys look at for this game? Like, how important was it to you to win this game? And looking forwards to maybe playoffs, like, what are you expecting?
So this was definitely an important game. I mean, this game keeps us in contention with that, you know, tied for second, you know, in that top 1-2 spot. You know, we're fighting for that first, second seed right now. We want that early bye week. So going into this game, we have to take every single game serious. We can't be slacking, and we have to make sure that we try to put our best foot forward.
Right. Well, thank you so much for the interview, Complex. Congratulations on your win, and have a great day.
Yeah. Take care, man.
Yep. Thank you.
I'll let you do the send-off, August.
Alrighty. Yeah, no, you handled that great. Everyone, thank you guys for coming out tonight. Sorry for the issues. There was quite a delay on stuff, but we did have a great game here this evening between La Espada and Third Impact. We will be back again tomorrow. I know UPS is playing. I don't know.
Nope. It's Beatty Carey Fan Club versus I think IGN, I believe.
You heard it here. They're playing. Stay posted. Thank you guys for coming out and have a great night.
Yep, have a good night, everyone.